Today I'm going to talk about cause and condition. This is a topic that's directly part of understanding karma, which is how to understand our experiences. All our experiences, all our phenomena, which is all that we see, hear, taste, touch, or feel. It's everything our senses contact. So when we have that contact occur, we have some experiences and we interpret those. Our interpretation is a little bit of a different topic, how we process that raw data. But how does all of this arise around us? Where did it come from? Well, where phenomena comes from has been answered in a lot of different ways. You could start with thinking it's just all random, things just happen. And that actually presumes that there is no cause, nothing you can identify, at least consistently, that is the source for this phenomena. We call this nihilism, the idea of causeless experiences or phenomena. Then there's the idea that everything is caused by a power external to ourselves. This could be a deity, a pantheon of deities. It could be physical matter, as explained by scientists and astrophysicists. But the idea is it's a source outside of ourselves, whatever one believes that might be. And this is known as externalism, sometimes eternalism. So the two polarities we have here are nihilism, it's just random, there's no cause, and externalism. There is a cause, but it's outside of me. I don't control it. Those are the two extremes. Now, Buddhism posits another idea, which is that there is a cause, it's clearly identifiable, but it's not outside of us. It's actually us, it is ourselves. We are the cause. And how does this work? Well, there is a three-part equation. It's cause, condition, and then the result. The way this works is cause meets a corresponding condition, and the result appears. And this system describes how all of our phenomena arises. It answers the why and the how. This is also known as the law of karma. Cause meets condition, the corresponding conditions, and then the result appears. What is the definition of a cause? It is that which infallibly produces a result. And according to Buddha's teaching, this is present moment thinking. All beings of present moment thinking, sentient beings and enlightened beings. And for me, the cause would be my thinking. For you, your cause is your thinking. My thinking is not your cause, and your thinking is not mine. For you, the only cause is your own thinking, and this is true for all beings. It is always your thinking, nothing more, nothing less. Then we need to know what is a condition. Condition is defined as that which has the power to influence a cause. It does not directly create results, but it influences those results. Conditions would be the thinking of all other beings. Where my thinking is my cause, the thinking of other beings, all other beings, is not cause, but it is condition. And for you and all other beings, your thinking is cause, and my thinking for you is condition, not cause. Also, anything in my phenomena, anything I see, hear, smell, taste, or touch, is also condition. Because the only thing that is cause for me is my thinking. So everything in my outside universe is condition, and only present moment thinking is cause. That's cause and condition. Then you get to the result. And the result occurs when cause and condition meet, when they touch. It's like 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 and 1 creates the 2. If you're missing one of the ones, you can't get to 2. That's how this works. And result for us is our experience of phenomena. That is the result. Cause has met condition. It's created the result. These results are also known as ripened karma. Ripened in the past tense. It is no longer ripening, meaning coming closer together, but they have now touched and they create the phenomena, the experience, and now that karma is complete. Results are always similar to the cause, and this means that the qualities of the result will be very similar to the cause that created them. Positive thinking results in positive experience, negative thinking results in negative experience. The analogy I like here is an acorn, which would be the cause. And this acorn will never grow into a maple tree. It can only grow into an oak tree because the result, the tree, is similar to the cause, the acorn. Similar but not the same. The cause and the result are not identical, but they have similar qualities. So in thinking, a positive cause will have a positive result, and a negative thinking will have a negative result. Thinking is always cause. Virtuous or positive thinking will produce virtuous or positive results. Non-virtuous or negative thinking will produce non-virtuous or negative results. The conditions affect the quality of the result. So we've looked at cause. What is thinking doing? Is it positive or is it negative? What about the conditions? Well, they cannot produce the result, but they can and will influence and shape what that result is, because only a cause can produce a result. So if you are in the mode of a positive thinking, for example, compassion, and you are thinking compassion or compassionately again and again, that will create an energy. And that energy will magnetize to it similar conditions, corresponding conditions. They will have similar qualities. Whereas if your thinking is in a negative mode like anger, that's a very different kind of energy. But what it will magnetize is likewise similar conditions with similar qualities as anger thinking. It's important to know there are always countless conditions around us. Countless. Where do they end? There's no way to count. But the ones we magnetize to ourselves depends on our cause. What is our thinking doing? It's always doing something, even if we don't directly perceive what it's doing. Guaranteed it's doing something. So positive causes will magnetize positive conditions, and negative causes will magnetize negative conditions. Always. There is also the factor of accumulation, which is repetition. When you repeat a certain kind of thinking, the power of that repetition accumulates. It's like dropping a penny into a jar. In one moment you have an angry thought, and then the next moment, and each time you're dropping a penny into that jar. Well, each penny doesn't add up to a lot, but if you add enough of them together, it becomes significant. And thinking works just like this, both the positive and the negative. So, repeated positive causes will magnetize more powerfully and attract more powerful results, and more repeated negative causes will magnetize more powerfully and attract more powerful results. Magnetizing is the power of the cause, because a cause once created will begin drawing to it the conditions it needs, and until they meet, because then they produce a result. So that magnetizing, once the cause is created, is always active. And if the cause is weak, the magnetizing will also be weak, but it is there. So this depends on how much meditative power is behind that cause, how much repetition. Meditation is simply repeating a very similar thought again and again. If the cause is strong, due to repeated thinking, the magnetizing will also be strong. It will pull stronger, like a more powerful magnet will. And magnetizing is, I think, a good analogy because just as we don't see magnets pull, we cannot visually see that energy, We can see the effect of it. We can see it produces a visible and measurable phenomena. Our thinking is like that. We may not directly perceive what our cause is as it's drawing conditions to itself, but it is there and it's definitely functioning because a cause is always active. What happens is we don't directly perceive this, and then we misunderstand where our phenomena came from when we experience it. It seems to have magically appeared at times. Why is this? How did it get there? Well, sentient beings are obscured. Single present moment thinking only with gross ego clinging. A cause is always magnetizing conditions even if we cannot perceive it. And because we are obscured to some degree, we can perceive this partially sometimes. There are some things that we can make that direct correlation with, but a lot of them we can't. We may have some thinking, but we don't see the result of that thinking immediately in our surrounding. Doesn't mean it isn't there. It means we are obscured from directly perceiving it. How much we are obscured is a direct result of our negative thinking and negative karma, because this is what blocks us. These are our obscurations, our own negative thinking and negative karma. For me, my obscurations are my negative thinking and my negative karma only. And for you, the same is also true. I cannot obscure another being, and another being cannot obscure me. It's something we can only do for ourselves. But we can also unobscure ourselves. More negative thinking, the more we repeat these, the more obscured we become. The less we do that, the less obscured we are. Karma is infallible, but knowing that I am obscured, I cannot directly see the cause magnetizing the condition. But I can understand the principle. I can study the words and their meaning. I can analyze whether I think they have logical basis or not. And then I can decide if I believe that's true. A good way to do this is to compare this answer to all the other answers you might be able to find about how does phenomena arise, and then decide which one do you think makes the most sense. It's up to you to decide that. But I do know I habitually make up stories about where my phenomena comes from. When I don't directly perceive a cause and how that connects to the result, I'll come up with some reasoning or some words to explain that. It just happened. It's your fault. Somebody else did this, and that's why this is happening. Well, I can understand karma, this equation of cause, condition, and result. And then I can train myself to remember what is really happening. This gradually antidotes my wrong views and my habits of making up stories that don't make sense. It's also important to know that karma is infallible. This is a universal constant. Thinking is the creator. Thinking is cause. For me, anything not my thinking is only a condition. Likewise, for you, anything not your thinking is only a condition. If I do not create the cause, I will not experience the result. It is not possible. If I do create the cause, I will infallibly experience the result. It's that equation, 1 plus 1 gets to the 2. If one of the ones is missing, you don't get to the 2. If both of them are there, you will always get the 2. Thinking is cause, and this teaches us that there is nowhere else to put the blame when things happen. The blame, the responsibility, or the credit when it's something good. No other being is responsible. The finger points towards me every time. My thinking, my cause. Everything else out there is only condition. So if I don't like what's happening, do I blame somebody else? Are they responsible? Well, they play a role in everything because they are a condition and they can influence, but they are not cause. So that seems a little bit ponderous, a little bit heavy, perhaps, because you can't deflect anything. But the other side of that means we also have a choice. What results do you want? Accumulating positive causes create positive results, and accumulating negative causes create negative results. That's a choice. That's the good news. Thinking is the knower, the chooser, and the decider. Thinking knows, it chooses and decides. Sometimes it's habitual and automatic or even subconscious, but it's still happening. It's important to recall the law of karma because this gives us power. You can choose the result you want. It can be beneficial and not harmful. And then repeat the causes to create that result. Have aspirations, have virtuous aspirations, and repeat those. That will have some magnetizing power. The more you recall something like cause, condition, law of karma, the more you are dismantling those older belief systems and replacing them with something better. The biggest issue, as I see it, that most people have, myself included, is mistaking cause for condition. Some years ago, I was asked if there was just one topic I could teach. I only had the opportunity to teach one Buddhist principle. What would it be? And it would be this one, because I think it's probably the most directly beneficial part of Buddhist view one could understand, because it allows us to step back from the automatic traps we set for ourselves and do something different. Mistakenly reversing cause and condition means believing that something external to our thinking is a cause. This would be something not own thinking, one's own thinking. The cause is out there. It could be you made me angry or you made me happy. But the finger of responsibility or blame or even credit is pointed outward. It's pointing to conditions, not causes, but we are assigning them the power of a cause. We are habitually focused on condition like this, looking outward, looking at condition and then the results instead of the cause. What is our thinking doing? We habitually ignore and disregard our own thinking and its power, and we believe the power is in the conditions around us. And this will lead to negative thinking. So, for example, if you have the experience of suffering, how would that work? Believe the cause of my suffering is out there somewhere. So, I don't want suffering. I have to either destroy the cause out there or avoid it. And to do this, I will typically become angry, engage in anger. I must destroy that. If I do not, I will receive suffering. But if I lash out, what I am targeting is only a condition. It's not the cause. So what I'm doing now is creating the cause for more future suffering. Negative thinking, repeated, magnetizes more conditions, and those conditions will not be the ones you want. If you believe you're experiencing happiness, but the cause is out there, then you think you have to chase after that. Or if you acquire it, a relationship, objects, wealth, fame, if those are identified as causes of happiness that you can't let them go. You have to squeeze them and hold them tight, cling to them, because if you don't, you will lose your happiness. So now those conditions are viewed as cause of happiness. That leads to greed, the greedy chasing and clinging. These are conditions, not causes. And because all conditions are impermanent, it means that at some point, sooner or later, we will be separated from them. They will change. And then, if we believe those were causes of our happiness, we believe we can no longer be happy. You will be suffering then. Both of these are traps. They're traps because they are misidentifying a condition as a cause. Cause is only present moment thinking. We do have hope and fear. In every moment, thinking has hope and fear. It is the hope for that happiness and the fear that we will get suffering instead. And this is why we make decisions and choices based on how we interpret what's around us. This hope and fear is natural for us. It's not the problem. It's actually a very useful thing for us. The problem lies in when we identify the cause incorrectly. We all seek happiness and we all want to avoid suffering. But as obscured beings, we mistake our phenomena as the cause of our happiness and the cause of our suffering. And it is only conditions. Our phenomena is not the cause, it is condition. The cause is our positive thinking or our negative thinking. Because my thinking is my cause, I cannot blame anybody else, but it also means I'm in control. If I exercise that power, that deliberate choosing, that intention, I'm in control. Thinking is the knower, the chooser, and the decider. Remember that the result is always similar to the cause. There are no causeless results. The law of karma is infallible. But it also means I can shape the result by controlling the cause, controlling my thinking. Cause will magnetize the corresponding conditions. It's your choice, which is the cause, and it will be your results, which are the experiences. So that today is the presentation on cause and condition. There's a lot more to say about digging into present moment thinking, the positive and the negative, a little bit more one could say about karma, present moment thinking, and so on. But this presentation is designed to provide some foundation for the structure of how these things work. I hope it's been beneficial, and I will be back with more videos soon.